Coming up, we have reaction following the weekend arrest of an airline pilot for multiple murders back in 2015. A hiker accused of killing one person and injuring another this weekend on the Appalachian Trail in Southwest Virginia will be in court later today. And family and friends gathered yesterday in Breathitt County to remember a murder victim whose case is still unsolved.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 6 o'clock on Monday, May the 13th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News this morning. It's a soggy start to your work week, but the temperatures are about perfect. Let's bring Brandon in this morning to get a rundown of what to expect on this Monday specifically. Brandon, good morning.
Good morning, and things a bit dreary this morning as we head out the door, Will, but again, hopefully a little bit of peaks of sunshine later today. Let's take a look at the cameras outside. We start with Pikeville Medical Center this morning, and you can see a dreary start to the day over Pikeville. There was a little bit of rain over there. I was looking at that camera a little earlier. Some fog up on top of Buffalo Mountain this morning. We'll take a look at that here in Perry County. And again, a little foggy start for some, so be careful as you head out the door. Some soggy conditions overnight, but again, a lot of the rain has moved down at this point. We're going to continue to see that trend throughout the day. 50 Wise, Somerset, Moorhead to about 55 there in Jacksboro, Tennessee. Everybody's still dropping a little bit. Almanac today, we should be right around 74 for a daytime high. 61's our high today, record of 90. Set back on this day in 1982. Real quick, your out the door forecast features again possibilities for a few scattered showers. There we go. Mainly cloudy skies and some sun peeking through at times. I'll have the rest of that coming up here in just a few minutes. Will?
All righty, Brandon, we'll check back in with you. An airline pilot is behind bars this morning, charged in the murders of 3 people back in 2015. 51-year-old Christian Richard Martin is accused in the deaths of a married couple and their neighbor in Christian County in western Kentucky. Nashville station WSMV talked to Martin after the crimes. In that early 2016 interview, he claimed he had nothing to do with the murders.
Do you worry that you will be prosecuted in the murder case?
No, I have no worries about that.
American Airlines says Martin was a pilot for a regional subsidiary. In a news release, airline officials said they will provide any assistance possible to law enforcement during the investigation. Thousands of students at the University of South Carolina turned their tassels this weekend in memory of one who never got the chance. Samantha Josephson was awarded a posthumous degree that was accepted by her parents. Less than 2 months ago, police say the 21-year-old mistakenly got into a car she thought was her Uber and was later killed. She touched the lives of many, and though she could not walk the stage, her message resonates.
Fellow Gamecocks class of 2019, we must ensure what happened to Samantha never happens again. Asking what's my name before getting in a rideshare vehicle will save lives.
Plaques were made to honor Josephson and to help others remember to ask what's my name when requesting ride shares. They are hanging in about 12 bars in the Columbia area. A suspect is in custody after a deadly attack Saturday morning on the Appalachian Trail in Southwest Virginia. Investigators shut down 16 miles of the trail while crews searched the crime scene. Lindsay Kennett reports.
An early morning attack in Wythe County. Investigators say a suspect attacked a man and a woman with a machete while hiking the trail near Crawfish Road. Around 3:30 Saturday morning, Bland, Smith, and Wythe County investigators were on high alert after hikers said a man threatened them. Soon after, that's when Wythe County Sheriff Keith Dunnigan says they got an SOS call from the male victim's phone.
Phone company notified us, and we went up there, and that's where we located the suspect and the victim. We had our whole TAC team up there, so he wisely just surrendered himself.
Dunnigan says the woman escaped the attack and walked 6 miles, injured and bleeding, before finding other hikers and calling for help. The sheriff's office tells the local NBC affiliate in Bristol, Virginia, this attack is connected to another altercation on the Appalachian Trail last month. In that incident, 30-year-old James Jordan, also known by his trail name Sovereign, was charged with criminal impersonation and drug possession after police say he threatened other hikers on the trail in North Carolina and Tennessee. Jordan was released from jail, put on probation, and ordered to pay fines. Back in Wythe, the suspect in Saturday's attack was escorted to a holding cell in Washington County and is facing federal charges.
Why it happened, we had no idea. we're just glad that we got him in custody so that it can't happen again.
Jordan is charged with 1 count of murder and 1 count of assault with intent to murder. Investigators say these are federal charges. Jordan will be in court later this morning in Abingdon. Family and friends gathered in Breathitt County yesterday to honor the life of a mother who was killed back in 2017. Mary Jo Allen went missing on August 10th. Her body was found a few weeks later in a shallow grave. Allen's loved ones came together Sunday to have a balloon release and special prayer that justice will be served for their dear Mary Jo.
They said, "I've got your sister's body. Who do we release her to?" And all I could do was fall to the floor and yell for my daddy, that they found her, Dad. They found her. But it wasn't the way that we was hoping and praying for.
The family asks if you have any information on her death to contact Kentucky State Police. A homeless man who lit a homeless West Virginia woman on fire as she slept has been sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. News outlets report Carl Tremaine McGee III was sentenced Friday in Kanawha County Circuit Court. A jury found him guilty of murder by arson in March and later recommended no mercy. The cause of a weekend fire in Knott County is under investigation this morning. Members of the Vico Sassafras Volunteer Fire and Rescue Crews responded to a house fire along Red Oak Branch early Sunday morning. Officials say no one was in the home and no injuries were reported. It was a stormy Mother's Day for millions across the eastern half of the country following rounds of rain and severe thunderstorms. It was the worst in the south, where they have been slammed by days of torrential rain and widespread flooding. Here is CBS's Meg Oliver with the latest.
After days of relentless rain, New Orleans looked more like a swamp, closing roads and shutting down public transportation. In Baton Rouge, the storm sent trees crashing onto roofs and caused water to bubble out of sewers. Here in Church Point, Louisiana, flooding shut down neighborhoods.
When it floods too bad, we get water in our house. Not too much we can do. Just wait for the water to go down.
The storm system started a week ago, drenching multiple states from Texas to Virginia. In waterlogged Stone County, Mississippi, flash floods trapped more than a dozen people in RV parks.
The water was going down and all of a sudden it just rose and it just overtook the park. There's nothing more we could do. We all evacuated, got out.
I lost everything, sir. I lost everything.
Nearby highways were overflowing from torrential rain. In Dauphin Island, Alabama, the storm ripped roofs off buildings. Over in Gulf Shores, Alabama, workers sawed through debris after strong winds toppled trees onto cars at a local zoo. No animals were hurt. In Hillsdale, Mississippi, severe weather derailed a freight train, leaving more than 20 cars bunched together like an accordion. No one was injured. And a tornado touched down outside Norfolk, Virginia, knocking down trees and power lines.
The powerful but slow-moving system now stretches from Florida to here in New York City. Rain is expected to drench the Northeast through at least Monday evening. Meg Oliver, CBS News, New York.
Meanwhile, a strong earthquake struck a lightly populated area of Panama near its border with Costa Rica this weekend. There were no immediate reports of damage or injuries. Officials with the U.S. Geological Survey say the quake had a 6.1 preliminary magnitude and was centered southeast of the town of Plaza de Casian. In Myanmar, a passenger jet made an emergency landing Sunday only with its rear wheels after landing gear failed. A statement by Myanmar National Airlines on Facebook says the captain of the flight UB-103 from Yangon followed emergency procedures and did the fuel burn out to reduce the landing weight. There were no deaths or injuries reported in the incident. Well, back here a little bit closer to home, a plane made another emergency landing at Knoxville's McGee Tyson Airport. Officials with the FAA say a nose gear issue caused the pilot of Delta Flight 1417 to declare an emergency. The plane was heading from Tri-Cities Airport to Atlanta when it was diverted to Knoxville. 129 people were on board at the time. No injuries were reported. Switching gears now, not every mother wants flowers or candy on her special day. Some want something a little different. On Sunday, Dad's Pay Day, Dad's Pay Lake in Johnson County offered free fishing for mothers, a free meal and door prizes. Diana Howard owns the Pay Lake. Last year, her mother and father died. This is her first Mother's Day without the person she calls her best friend. She says this may not be a spa, but it can be relaxing.
Well, the forecast this morning definitely a bit on the cooler side and some fog in some areas. We showed you Buffalo Mountain here at the top of the block, and you can see it again this morning there. Pretty foggy up there on the mountain, so be careful and take it easy. Some dense fog in some locations, mainly higher elevations, I think, this morning. Some rain still around in scattered form across parts of the area. We're going to continue to see that for a little while. Temperatures in the 50s this morning, except for Danville, already down to 48 now. Upcast for you today, we are going to see temperatures only climb into the low 60s in cloudy skies for much of the day. Will?
We continue to follow a developing story this morning out of Magoffin County. Crews are searching for a small child right now. We are told the child, now identified as 22-month-old Kenneth Howard, went missing last night around 7:30. You see his picture on your screen. 3 crews, rescue dogs and a drone are being used in the search near Southeast Licking River Road and Kenneth Combs Branch. We have a reporter on the way to the scene and we'll bring you updates as we get them. As always, thank you for joining us right here on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, new research confirms the importance of eating breakfast, especially for one group of the population. And school is almost out and vacations are being planned. We will have some tips on some healthy snacks you can serve up while you are on the road.